When I was a wee child, I used to be obsessed with the ideas of poems. And I thought it would be cool to make kind of like a dreamcore video that people can listen to in the background like it's a podcast, where I read out the different poems I wrote. I'm planning for this to be no longer than 20 minutes. I just hope you enjoy the 12-year-old me's poems. I just felt like I needed to post them somewhere. Poem number 1. Enjoy your time. The forest whispers at the dreary dawn. Come forth to the peace, the cool, the shade. Sit in my grass as the cool wind flows by, still fresh with morning dew. Ignore the chainsaws buzzing away. My trees sway to their own rhythm, unknown to their soon demise. Just sit in my peaceful road, enjoying the rest of your time. Sawney. Poem 2. The trees twisted as the cold, hard rain pounded on Sawney. The rain hurt him as he splashed through the streets, but he ignored his aching, screaming body as he rushed through a road, the feeling of smooth stone cooling his bare feet. The houses loom. They look like churches with their stained glass windows dancing around the streets. Blood red seemed to follow him wherever he went. The rain pounded the ground. Each drop sounded like a reminder of his friend screaming in his face. "What did you do? What did you do?" More panicky each time. Sonny could feel a metallic taste forming in the back of his throat. It was rough, bloody. He did not stop running. His lantern illuminated the streets with the smell of death, the sweet release, not being able to end your story. How he wished he could do that, but the curse would not leave. Not till he killed. Wow, looks like someone was edgy. This poem was actually written on my birthday. It wasn't intentional, just happened to be a homework assignment. The Gladiator, Poem 3. He stood there. He wanted to ignore it, to pretend it wasn't there. He looked at the lantern illuminating everything around them. The shiny scale seemed smooth and rough on this ghastly red beast, this serpent. He felt the blade in his hand. He held it so tightly he cut himself. The smooth, cold blade felt soothing against his rough, scarred hands. He heard the laughter up above in the stands where so many people came to see the dragon be slain. No, he thought, they want the dragon to slay me. He licked his bloody lips, the metallic taste reminding him why he's here, what he had done. In the final blow, he smelled death coming on to him, and he closed his eyes. Those were his last thoughts. Well, the next couple of poems, I asked people to give me one random word, and I would try to write a poem about it. And this poem is called Hydro Flask. When I drink from you, I feel clear. When I sip from you, I feel tears as they roll down my cheeks in salty globs. I think of a hug long gone. For when I put my mouth around the flask, the cool tube up my mouth, the hydraulics work for this hydro flask. Listen. Poem 5 now? I hear you speaking, but I do not hear you talking. I see you moving, but I do not see you dancing. I could listen, but I will never learn, if you never give us what we earn. From now on, move your lips, see how many listen. Olive. Poem. I've stopped counting. I should stop saying which number this is. My heart beats faster. I try to run. Everything is burning, crashing around me. People try to save me, to pull me back, but I wave at their efforts. And when I realize what I've gotten myself into, I see I bit off more than I can chew. Olive, my first friend, my lover. Please stop it. It hurts. This poems aren't even based on anything. I have no idea what edgy me was doing in 6th grade. Guitar. I strum your chords, you sing. I twist your knobs, you chant. When I place my fingers on your friends, I can hear them laugh. So many emotions, sounds, and chants galore. So many voices can be heard from my friend, the guitar. because guitar rhymes with herd, as everyone knows. Apple. I bit your skin, my teeth sink in. I taste your flavorful spice. The fruit of the tree you came from does not affect your life. Dog. Why did I pronounce dog like that? Woof woof, ruff ruff, those are the words I hear. You slobber, you clobber, you follow my heels. I get kisses, you get love. And that's enough. Moon. I look up at the starry skies. There's one that stands out from all the rest, the diamond in the rough. It is the moon in its glistening glory. Pushing forever, I haven't figured out what word I should put there, as that's the complicated story, the gory, of the moon. Snowflakes. Each one is unique. They have their own pattern, their story, each one, their own story. Each one is different, like the prints of our thumb. They rain down when it's cold and sprinkle when it's warm. Our feelings are just like the snow. Catacombs. I crawl through Florida's catacombs. They are moist and wet. Water trickles down the cylindrical tubes. The water reflects the sunlight from the grates, illuminating the skulls lining up the wall. To whom the skulls belong to, he thought. The skulls held up the wall. The death of millions, the reason the people inside survive. Your roots are your worth. They tangle their roots under the ground, trying to hide what they deem unworthy of the farmhand's attention. They build their leaves up high, trying to impress the man who helps them each day, providing them with life. A big one, no? The man whispers to the leaves, their luscious green sway in the wind caused by the old man's breath, laced with ash and smoke. They only stand taller each day. The plants whom the man had given life to know it is their time to be picked and removed from the place they so dearly call home. They hold on to each other. They so dearly called home. They hold on to each other with their small legs under the ground. The man comes out, smiling at their fear of the end. The carrots shrivel their leaves, making them seem unready. The farmer pulls them out. He studies their legs. The carrots tried so hard to make their leaves shine bright, to make their God happy. They hadn't known they would be judged by their roots. Disappointed, the man shoves them down to the ground, promising more water which never came. Only the judging, day after day. Now, these next poems, I didn't realize I had written on another document. So I'm going to go pull that up. Again, if I can find that is. There we go. Here, this poem was made where I had to have 100 random words. Where I got 100 random words, and I tried to make a poem out of them. The idiotic maid, be obedient as she was, kept her distance from the ripe flaky corn. She made delicious squirrel feet cake and outrageous praying flowers. Naughty she was to make the leaves erect, but the snotty glue she used was too spicy. The uneven boats of conscious passengers opt to win with normal sass. It's not supposed to mean anything unless you want it to. Dear fire, the fire must stay within. Dear fire, sometimes nights are cold, sometimes we can't sleep. Sometimes you come, but only in our dreams. Dear fire, with one wrong move, it all goes down, and no one knows what it is. We can't risk it burning for our next of kin. Dear fire, we won't call for you, that sadly is the truth, for though you benefit us, you can hurt the moon. So, dear fire, to help the hurt, do we risk the burning, or shall we keep our head and hope for better learning? We are This poem's called Rubber Bands. We are flung, we are strung upon rows and rows of our fallen comrades. We are thrown to the ground, useless we bounce. A child seizes us, a stick and a stone. We are blamed for the shards of porcelain on the ground. Why must we be blamed? We are like the humble soldier, doing no more than taking orders from a commander, albeit unwillingly. It is not our fault. You created us. Do not fear to use us. We fear when you use us, to be stretched and launched, only to be stuffed by the orange peel walls where we lay behind the sofa, alone and forgotten. We're nothing more than the humble rubber band, and you will make sure it stays that way. Picture poem. Oh, wait. This is called Why Can't I Sit in the Table in the Back? There's a land in a faraway place, hidden where stories don't tell. A bar in a valley, under the bog, where you might hear snippets of yell. There sat two men, their arms interlocked, staring at each other with spite. Spittle fell from their cracked lips as they drank another goblet tonight. The first one we meet in this outlandish tale is a man whose broad chest filled with woe. The second one who speaks to us is nothing more than the man who steals toes. The bland men around them, who drink more than shout, huddle around them more. Tighter they go to see the fight of the woe man and his toes. Their fists meet face, the sound of a break, and blood dribbles down their front. The wooden table where many have sat is now a relic to be passed. And now the story is told to you and the next man who comes along. Do not sit at the desk in the back, where fighting has long been presumed. I am a tree. I sit in the forest here. Sometimes my friends fall, but they don't make a sound, because I am a tree, so I have no ears to hear them. Then come the spring, and the animals start to eat the food and the flowers off my leaves. Sometimes I am for building, or at least my branches are, but I'm okay with that, because I still don't fall. My life is great, but at least I am a tree. Then, the poem that I wrote about the carrots, I asked ChatGPT if I can make it better and add more sensory details. And that's the one that I turned in to my teacher. The carrots stretch their roots deep into the muddy earth, not realizing that their roots are what would be their worth. Instead, they build their leaves up high, hoping to impress the farmer passing by. The leaves sway in the breeze a lush green hue, hoping the farmer won't be cruel. As the man approaches, they feel his breath, a mix of ash and smoke, the smell of death. The carrots stand tall, their leaves held high, thinking that's all they need to catch his eye. But the farmer knows that beauty runs deep. Inspecting their roots, he stops to peep. Their wrinkled roots are gnarled and twisted, not looking neat. A mess of tangled threads beneath their feet. Disappointed, the farmer discards them down, promising more water, but his smile is a frown. The carrots shrivel and shrink, no longer proud. Their leaves wither, no longer tall and loud. They all wonder why the farmer was so wicked, judging them for their past, the roots that have been stepped in. But they all know the truth, that if your roots are bad, then so it seems are you. And with that note, I wish you all a very happy Halloween.